Harry the Hippo's Bath Time Adventure. In the heart of the lush African savanna, there lived a young hippopotamus named Harry. Harry was known throughout the animal kingdom for his cheerful smile and boisterous laugh, but he had one little problem: he didn't like to bathe. "Why should I bother with bathing?" Harry would often say to his friends. "The mud feels so good on my skin, and I love how it keeps me cool in the hot sun." Harry's best friend, a clever meerkat named Milo, would try to convince him otherwise. But Milo would say, standing on his hind legs and sniffing the air, "Don't you think you smell a bit strong?" Harry would just laugh and shake his head. "That's just my natural hippo scent, Milo. It keeps the mosquitoes away." Days went by, and Harry continued to avoid bathing. He wallowed in the muddiest parts of the riverbank, rolled in the dustiest patches of earth, and never once dipped into the clean, flowing water of the river. As time passed, Harry began to notice that his animal friends were keeping their distance. When he approached the watering hole, the zebras would suddenly remember they had important grazing to do elsewhere. The giraffes would stretch their long necks even higher, pretending they couldn't hear Harry calling out to them. Even the usually friendly elephants would spray water at him with their trunks, trumpeting loudly, "Phew, Harry, you need a bath." But Harry just snorted and stomped away. "They just don't understand the joys of being dirty," he grumbled to himself. One particularly hot afternoon, Harry was feeling lonely. None of his friends wanted to play, and even the usually persistent Milo was nowhere to be seen. As he trudged along the riverbank, he spotted something unusual: a group of young animals gathered around a large, flat rock. Curious, Harry lumbered over to see what was happening. As he got closer, he saw a wise old tortoise named Tilly standing on the rock, addressing the young animals. "Gather round, little ones," Tilly was saying in her slow, gentle voice. "Today we're going to learn about the importance of staying clean and healthy." Harry was about to turn away. He'd heard all this before, but something made him stop and listen. Tilly continued, "You see, our bodies are wonderful things, but they need our help to stay healthy. When we keep ourselves clean, we're not just making ourselves smell nice for our friends. We're also protecting ourselves from tiny, invisible creatures called germs." The young animals leaned in, their eyes wide with curiosity. Harry found himself inching closer too. "These germs," Tilly explained, "can make us sick if we let them build up on our bodies. But when we bathe regularly, we wash away these germs, helping our bodies stay strong and healthy." A little lion cub raised her paw. "But Miss Tilly," she asked, "what about animals like hippos who like to be in the mud? Doesn't that keep them clean?" Harry's ears perked up at this. He'd always thought the mud was keeping him clean. Tilly smiled knowingly. "That's a great question, little one. You're right that some animals, like hippos, use mud to protect their skin from the hot sun. But even hippos need to rinse off in clean water regularly. The mud can trap germs and bacteria if it's left on too long." Harry felt his cheeks grow hot with embarrassment. Had he been wrong all this time? As if reading his thoughts, Tilly continued, "And it's not just about health. When we keep ourselves clean, we show respect for ourselves and for those around us. It's a way of saying, 'I care about myself, and I care about you too.'" These words struck a chord with Harry. He thought about how his friends had been avoiding him, and he realized that his refusal to bathe had been pushing them away. As the lesson ended and the young animals dispersed, Harry approached Tilly. "Excuse me, Miss Tilly," he said shyly. I think I might need some advice about bathing." Tilly looked up at him with kind eyes. "Ah, young Harry, I was wondering when you might come around. Tell me, what's on your mind?" Harry explained his aversion to bathing and how it had been affecting his friendships. Tilly listened patiently, nodding her wrinkled head. "Harry," she said gently, "it's never too late to make a change. Why don't you give bathing a try? You might be surprised at how good it feels." Encouraged by Tilly's words, Harry decided to take the plunge literally. He waded into the clean, cool water of the river and began to scrub himself with a rough stone. As he bathed, he was amazed at how refreshing the water felt on his skin. The layers of caked-on mud washed away, revealing his smooth, pinkish-gray hide underneath. He ducked his head under the water, blowing bubbles and enjoying the sensation of being truly clean for the first time in ages. When he emerged from the river, he felt like a new hippo. His skin felt cool and fresh, and he realized that he could breathe more easily without all the dust and mud clogging his nostrils. Just then, he heard a familiar voice. "Harry? Is that you?" It was Milo, standing on the riverbank with a look of pleasant surprise on his face. "Milo," Harry called out happily. "You won't believe it, but I just had a bath." Milo scampered over, his nose twitching. "I can see that. And smell it too," in a good way. He grinned up at his friend. "You look great, Harry. How do you feel?" "I feel amazing," Harry admitted. "I had no idea being clean could feel so good. I'm sorry I've been so stubborn about it all this time." Milo patted Harry's leg. "That's okay, buddy. The important thing is that you learned something new. And hey, now we can hang out without me having to hold my breath." Harry laughed, a deep, rumbling sound that echoed across the savannah. As if drawn by the sound, other animals began to appear: the zebras, the giraffes, and even the elephants. They all gathered around Harry, complimenting his clean new look and welcoming him back into the fold. From that day on, Harry became known not just for his cheerful smile and boisterous laugh, but also for his shiny, well-groomed appearance. He still enjoyed a good mud bath now and then, but he always made sure to rinse off in the clean river water afterward. And every afternoon, you could find Harry by the big flat rock, listening to Tilly's lessons and sharing his own story with the young animals. He would tell them, "Remember, staying clean isn't just about looking good or smelling nice. It's about taking care of yourself and showing respect for others. And trust me," he'd add with a wink, "it feels pretty great too." As the sun set over the savannah each evening, Harry would take one last dip in the river, grateful for the lesson he had learned. And as he drifted off to sleep, clean and content, he would think to himself, who knew that being clean could make life so much better? The end.